And I'm here today with Anthony Tassi. He's the CEO of Literacy Partners, and he was a co-creator of We Speak NYC. And I'm one of the program directors of Literacy Partners. That's a nonprofit organization that provides adult education classes and workshops with a focus on parents of young children. So today I'll talk a little bit about what We Speak NYC is, and how it's a great, it has great content to use in a virtual learning circle, and kind of the things that we've found that helped us get us off our feet into this new situation that we're in. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so to jump right in, We Speak NYC is one of the programs that we have for Literacy Partners. It's named after the educational video series that we co-produced with the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs in New York City. And it's won a couple Emmys. We're quite proud of it. It's really great. It's stories of New York City immigrants and their challenges and their triumphs. And so it makes for great starting content with student discussions in the class. In those stories, the characters learn about free New York City resources, and it's not always from an expert in the story. It's often from friends, family, other neighbors. So it really shows how much in real life the experts aren't always the usual authority figures, but it's actually the people that we know already. It's already the community members, families, neighbors, and friends and coworkers. So each episode is about 20 to 25 minutes. After watching an episode, the students have a chance to talk in small groups about what happens in the story. And what's great with starting with the story is that by talking about the characters, students are able to start talking about their own lives in a little bit less vulnerable way. And they start to share their experiences. And again, they start to share their expertise. And we see the same thing that is shown in the video. It happens in the discussions as well. And so this makes this is really great for starting virtual learning circles, in that we take a little bit of content, which is the video, and then the students really take off with either talking about what happens in the video, practicing some of the language that comes up in the video, the new vocabulary, how to ask specific questions, to find more information, and to ask for what we need. So this is the Mayor's Office website, and it's great. It has all of the videos online. So there are about 17. They just added a couple shorter ones, like 5-minute ones on the census. They're really fun. And all of the learning materials and educator resources that you might need are all on this website. Let's see. So this is one example of one episode and its materials. This is Shimmy's Pantry. And as you can see, if you click on the thumbnail of the video on the website, it leads you to the page for the video, Shimmy's Pantry. And so you can stream the video, you can download the video. With our students, usually what happens, because we've run into some streaming connectivity issues, is that using the tools that Jennifer explained in the presentation before, we use WhatsApp to share the link out to the video, so the students can watch, the first 5 minutes on their own, and then they come back to you know, whatever video chat platform you're using. So we use Zoom. So we send them a quick text out on WhatsApp to come back into Zoom, and then we talk about what we've watched in breakout groups. And so there's lots of materials that are available online. Study guide, short story, images and words, script, and those are all easy to share just using the screen share feature on Zoom like we're doing now. Oops. But what's also great is that there's some online exercises for self-study. Here's kind of a snapshot of that. So there's quizzes, vocabulary exercises. There's even some activities on what you can do. So a problem is presented and there's some, you know, multiple choice options of, you know, what's a possible solution or what's a possible next step. So we find that our students really enjoy that and find that useful. And so who sponsors We Speak NYC group? So we have a lot of different host organizations that, you know, have hosted our in-person classes. And so those, you know, range from libraries, adult education programs, and so on. What's great about all of this content is that it's so flexible and it's so open. You know, once you get a chance to look at the website and the educator resources, you'll see that there are lesson plans for a more conventional ESL program. There's more of a volunteer-led option that's what we use for our learning circles, where really most of the class time is the students speaking with one another. You know, there's resources on that website for, you know, lesson plans for lower level students, intermediate students, and so on. There's also a lot of expansion activities. So you really have a lot to work with. Sometimes I find like I'm overwhelmed. There's so many choices. So I just want to let you know, there is like a basic lesson plan that you can just get going on. And that's what we use. Our classes are volunteer led. They don't need to be experts. They just need to be, you know, warm and friendly and compassionate. And that's what we work with. And so, as I mentioned, all the materials are online. It's for both educators and students. There's this basic flexible lesson plan that I'll get a little bit more into in maybe the breakout session. There are some required tools though. So a video conferencing app like Zoom, what we're using now, I think there's a lot of good ones out there. It just seemed that, you know, for us, we were most familiar with Zoom, so that's what we went for. Some sort of text or chat app like WhatsApp, that's what we usually use. That's what our students were familiar with, even way more familiar than I was, like Jennifer mentioned. You know, try to find whatever is easiest for your student population, because, you know, obviously if it's too much new too soon, you know, they lose motivation. So try to lean for, you know, whatever they're more comfortable with, if you can. And then I like to use some sort of slides app. So like we're using today, we're using Google Slides, could be PowerPoint, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I like using it because it streamlines the lesson and the materials rather than, you know, students having to wait for me to grab the materials from the website. That's still possible if you're comfortable with that. But sometimes there can be a little bit of a lag time, especially if you're considering you know, connectivity issues and all of that. So I would suggest trying to get that all on Google Slides. And I think, let's see. Yeah, and I think everything that Jennifer mentioned, you know, we're all learning as we go in this new situation, and it's great to have a sense of humor about things. And yeah, we've had some really great results so far, great feedback. But I'm looking forward to hearing any questions you have. Anthony, can I toss it back to you if you have anything to add?
Yeah, thank you, Adriane. I wanted mostly to give a shout out to our colleagues from the City University of New York under Leslie Oppenheim's direction and David Hellman and many others. They co-created this with us, and they created a lot of the educational materials. And so just to kind of sum up, there are 17 episodes that run from 20 to 25 minutes. It's like a regular TV show, except your intermediate level English learners can follow along because the English is very simple and basic, and every point is illustrated. You know, it will warm the hearts of every English teacher out there to see how our characters talk about things. There's no abstract concepts. Everything is concrete. Words are repeated. A lot of emphasis on question formation. And you can slice and dice however you want. You can just show a 2-minute scene, a 3-minute scene. You can show the whole 20 minutes. There are materials online that maybe we can talk about more in the breakout group that you can text links out to people. It was really developed, the pedagogy behind this was really developed from a visual literacy perspective. So we have still images from the episodes of characters engaged in something, and there's simple questions of what do you think is happening here? Who is this person? You know, simple prompts that are geared towards different level learners. So it's highly, I guess the technical term is scaffoldable. You know, you can scaffold up at different levels, but the heart of this work was really in the learning circles is really in the production of language. You know, we want to give people an engaging story where working class immigrants of color are the heroes who take agency and take action and work together. Use that as a prompt to get people talking. That's the heart of it, but we have a lot of other little bells and whistles and aspects for people.